Today, we are just going to be talking about ChatGPT, like what is it? How can you use it? Like the things that it'll help benefit you for real estate and things like that. So, I feel like everyone's probably heard of ChatGPT. It's been talked about a lot recently in the past few years. I'm pretty sure it came out in November of 2022. But what is it? What are the pros and cons? How are we going to utilize it? And yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Ava's here with me, our only participant in person. We have one person, I think, online. Yeah. Okay. So ChatGPT. So this is pretty much like a little virtual assistant, kind of. It's a chat box that uses artificial intelligence and different like large language models and like pre-trained transformer things that pull information from the internet and pile it into this one platform that is then going to be able to give you like real-time responses with any questions that you have. I know that I've personally used it a lot my senior year of college. It helped me like maybe write papers, maybe just assisted in writing papers, doing like stories and poems and like Instagram captions. It really helps with. And then what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. But that's pretty much what it does. So we'll talk about it a little bit later, but you pretty much just go into this platform, type what you want, and then within like 5 seconds, it generates all of this information for you of what you could, oopsies. Where did you go? There it is. Of all the things you could possibly want. I know it's super helpful, like if you want to write an email, which I do this a lot now, because I feel like I'm writing a lot more emails than I did when I was in college. But if I have to like write an email and I want it to sound like professional, but still get my point across, and I'm just like not really 100% sure how to go about it and how to word things, I literally will just go into ChatGPT, type in the chat box, like, these are the main points that I want to use, and then it'll generate something for me. And then from there, I can be like, oh, I really like this part of it, but I think that I can write this part of it better. So you can pull bits and pieces from it. And I want to make it very known that this is not going to do all the work for you. This is a tool and it's a great tool to use, but a lot of the time it can sound very robotic and very like AI generated, and you don't want that. But it is nice because sometimes like there'll be little chunks in it where you're like, oh, that sounds really good and I want to use that. And then you can use that, but don't just like type in there, please write an email to blah, 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 describing this property on blah, 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 because it's going to come out and it's going to sound extremely ChatGPT. So don't do that, but it's definitely an awesome tool to use, especially if you're like not sure where to start for things. Go in there, say what you want, and it will give you some assistance. It's kind of like having like your own personal dictionary, Google, everything that you could ever want, just on one platform. Okay, so how it works. I guess I kind of just talked about this. But pretty much you put what you want into ChatGPT and it analyzes everything. And the nice thing about it is that you create your own account in ChatGPT. And from there, it will then, wait, Ava, are you in the Zoom? No, you're not. Okay. I think you're fine. You don't need to be. You create your own account. Once you have this account, it remembers like everything. It'll remember questions that you asked 4 months ago. And from that, it'll pull that information. So like, I remember like when I think it was like sometime in college of last year. So my senior year. And I was like starting to apply for jobs and do that whole job search thing. And I was like, I'm going to use ChatGPT to help me write a cover letter. Because I'm like, this is something that needs to sound super professional and I want it to sound like very put together. So it was for like probably like a marketing job. So I like put all my information in, said what I wanted the cover letter to be for, like the position type, where it's located, what I've been studying in college, like all of that kind of stuff. And it generates all of it. And it literally still remembers it to this day, because I'll go in and be like, write a cover letter for fun or something like that. And it'll remember, oh, you were a communication student at Edgewood College in Madison, and you focus mostly in social media marketing. And it's crazy that it'll remember everything. But that's also a really nice tool of it, is that you can put all your information in once and it'll know it forever. So that is one of the nice things. And then what it pretty much does is ChatGPT is pulling information from the entire internet, which can be a pro and a con, which we'll talk about in the next slide, but it's pulling things from everywhere on Google. So you're going to be getting a lot of information, and sometimes it can contradict itself in what it's typing. So just be careful with that. So like I said, pros and cons. So you're going to get instant responses, and it's literally available to you whenever. So like, let's say it's 11:30 and your buyers are like, oh my gosh, like we want to put an offer in. And you're like, okay, I need to type this up super fast. And you're like, I need a little bit of assistance because it is super late at night and I am tired. You can go in there and it'll help you generate it right there on the spot. So it's like your own personal virtual assistant, and the fact that it's going to be available to you whenever you need it. It's all going to be text-based. So I don't think that you can be like, create a picture or like things like that. I think that's like in the works. That's something that's coming soon. But yeah, and it's training and education just at your fingertips. If you're ever confused on something or need help on something, you can also just type it in there and it can help you. Cons though is it is like a robot. So a lot of the stuff might come out sounding unnatural, which you don't really want, because you want it to sound like a human and want it to sound like it's coming from something that has a heart and a brain, not a piece of machinery. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. And ChatGPT can sometimes get hung up on like one part of your question or the thing that you're wanting to say. So just be wary of that, because if you're trying to write a description of a new listing and you like put all these points in, it might get stuck on just talking about one point and not all the other points that you wanted to include. And like I was saying on the last slide, this does pull information from everywhere on the internet. So some of it can be true, some of it can be false. So you really need to make sure that you're not just copying and pasting the stuff that it generates for you, that you're fully reading through it, fully making sure that it makes sense and that it's what you want, before you post it somewhere, because that can get a little awkward if you're posting things and you're like, wait, that's actually not true. So just make sure you're fully reading through everything. And yeah, Sarah, I know you're the only one on here, but do you have any questions so far?
Hi.
Hi, do you have any questions, or are you good so far?
No, I'm good so far. Thank you.
Yep, continue listening.
It's just you and I.
I know. And Ava, she's here with me. Oh wait, I don't
Oh,
think
good. Hi.
we're just sitting. She'll add some stuff in too.
Love it.
Okay,
Perfect.
we'll get back to it. Okay.
Thank you.
So at the end of the day, ChatGPT is a tool and it's can help you in so many ways. You can ask it questions, it'll help you brainstorm and generate different ideas and discussion points. It definitely can help you simplify and reword content. I know I do this a lot, especially like recently when I was sending an email to someone that we were asking them to sponsor an event for us. I was like, okay, like I feel like it's just like word vomit into ChatGPT, and then it organizes it for me. So like that's super helpful, because I know sometimes like I get really nervous when I'm like typing emails, because I want to make sure like everything's spelled right and the grammar's correct and it's all making sense and it's in the right order. So it's kind of nice because I can just go into there and be like, hey, here's all the information I want, and it's gonna simplify it, reword it, make it sound more normal than just if I was like word vomiting in an email. There is another website also that I've used so much. I used it all college. It's called Quillbot. And I think that it's like somehow a sister company with Grammarly in some way or form. But Quillbot is awesome. I've used it so much. So pretty much you have everything that you wanted to say typed up. Quillbot isn't like ChatGPT. It's more of like helping you reword things. So I would type up my email to the best of my ability and I would copy and paste it into Quillbot, and then Quillbot would take it and reword it. And like if I'm using very basic like filler words, it'll change those words so that it doesn't sound repetitive or boring in some sorts. So Quillbot's also a really good tool to use. Um you can also do fun things on ChatGPT. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you can play games like with the AI person that's behind the screen in some way. But I've mainly used it for like rewording things, helping me type things, helping me understand certain type of things. And Ava and I were talking about this. You can use it for math also. She said that she's used it for some of her math stuff that she had to do for school, and I definitely used it for some math things as well. So that's just a nice little perk of it if you have some math to do. Okay. So
What is it, Bella? Quillbot?
Quillbot, I can text it to you.
Yeah, text me it.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. So now how can ChatGPT help us for real estate, which we're here for? There's many different ways that it can help you, and I find it really interesting. So it can help, we're going to talk more about it, but these are like the basic ones. It'll help you generate ideas and topics. I personally wouldn't use it to draft legal documents. I found this on a website, and when I read that one, I was like, maybe not so much. But it'll help you summarize like documents, help you translate emails and text if you're getting like emails that don't make any sense to you, or if you're getting emails in like a different language, it can help you translate that. It can just help you write scripts, improve your emails and texting, personalize property listings and emails, creates like drip campaigns, things like that. So first one, real estate descriptions, which I think is really, really nice. So let's say this is my example. I have a 5-bedroom ranch in the heart of Tosa that has great lighting and is very spacious. And you're like, hey, I need a description to put into MLS. And you type this in here, and this is what it comes with. Welcome to the stunning 5-bedroom ranch in the heart of Tosa. This spacious home is bathing in natural light, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere throughout. With ample living spaces, modern amenities, and beautiful landscaped yard, this property offers the perfect blend of comfort and style. Enjoy the convenience of a single-story living in a primary location close to schools, parks, shopping, ideal for families or anyone looking for a bright and airy home. This ranch is a true gem in a sought-after neighborhood. So like that's super nice. And I feel like that's very concise, says everything you want. And I think it'd be a really nice little description to put somewhere. So
Great size for the listing flyers.
yeah, great size for the listing flyers. So keep that in mind. That is perfect. Then the writing won't be so tiny. So that is one thing that I think it can be super helpful for, is just like helping you enhance your listing descriptions. Another thing is creating email marketing campaigns. So just like the description is so great, it can also help you on your marketing journey for real estate leads. So it's kind of the same as what we just did. You put in information about your clients that you already know, when their lease possibly expires, if they're a first-time home buyer or if they're just renting, the type of properties that they're interested in, other details you'd like to highlight, and ChatGPT will come up with a little email that you can send to them. Obviously, read it over before you send it, but I think this is a great idea. If you're like, okay, I just want to sit down, knock out 20 emails to potential clients or someone that I am like looking to possibly work with, just put in what they want, then it'll generate this email. So it's kind of a nice thing if you're wanting to get a bunch out in a short amount of time, because put in their information and it'll help you. Next, personalizing property listings. So let's say that you have a buyer and you know that the buyer really wants, kind of like what this is saying, they really want like a spacious environment, but the listing description that the listing agent has posted really is only talking about a certain part of the house. You can go in and be like, help me reword this to add this type of information into it. So that's also super nice so that it's more appealing to your buyers. When they read it, they'll be like, oh, that is definitely something that I've been looking for. Things like that. So you can make it more personalized to your specific clients, which is a helpful tool. So next, improving your emails and texting. So this is kind of like what I was saying, how I use this a lot for emails. It's kind of just nice because put in what you need. I feel like I'm being really repetitive, but this is like kind of all repetitive stuff. But put in what you need and it'll just generate something that's going to be way easier for you to send out instead of having to sit there for 30 minutes and be like really using your brain power to create this amazing email. It'll give you little snippets of things that you will like to use in your own emails. So that is definitely helpful.
Another nice thing about the emails though is if you write up an email and you're like, wow, this is just not what I'm looking for, you can put that email into ChatGPT and say, make this more persuasive. It's very, you can specify what you want change, and a lot of the times that's what I do. Like I word vomit an email to a teacher and then I would put it into ChatGPT and I'd be like, make this more professional so my professor's not like, who is this girl? And then it would work out really well because they'd be like, I've had teachers compliment me and tell me my emails are written well. It was the help of ChatGPT. It was my friendly pal, ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, our friendly AI friend. So that's definitely a really nice tool to use because it'll just make things sound more concise. So this is kind of the same, but creating text for social media marketing. So you have an Instagram post that you just created and you're like, what am I gonna caption this? Here you go. Type in a ChatGPT the things that you want included in your caption. Boom, you got it. This one was one that I pulled from the internet, but it was a LinkedIn announcement for a new real estate service firm in New York. So they put in what they wanted, and then this is what ChatGPT came out with. Sounds super good. Sounds very intriguing for real estate agents in the New York area that want to possibly join them. So that's a really nice tool to use because I know sometimes thinking of Instagram captions can be kind of hard and it's kind of like dreading being like, oh, now I have to think of like I just created this whole post and now I have to sit down and do the worst part, which is thinking of a caption. So yeah, it does take forever when you're trying to think about it. So definitely use this as a tool. It's gonna be really nice because it's gonna give you many options and like, okay, here, let's play around on it. Oh, I have it pulled up. So that's from what I was just doing. You can see I have like all of these things here. Toast Ladies Night, Realtor Refresh, Social Media Bootcamp. So yeah, we've used it and it saves a lot of time. So let's say, please write a Instagram caption for Sarah's new, oops, new listing in Whitefish Bay. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house right on the lake. It is close to downtown Whitefish Bay and has a park near. Okay. Just listed, discover Sarah's new gem in Whitefish Bay, a stunning 3-bed, 2-bath lakeside home. Enjoy breathtaking views, quick access to the downtown, and nearby parks for endless fun. Your dream home awaits. Hashtag Whitefish Bay living. Hashtag lakefront home. Hashtag new listing. So like Sarah sells homes. There we go. That's a great one too. So it's just really helpful for like that kind of stuff. And then like another fun thing about it is you're like, oh my God, I absolutely hate that. You can click this little thing and it'll regenerate one for you. And you might be like, and then it's gonna ask you, is this better or worse? And I'm gonna say probably the same. And I'm like, yeah, still not really liking that. Regenerate it again. And you can be like, oh, okay. That one sounds a little bit better. So that's a nice thing. And you can also like be like, that was a horrible response. And you can say, it's being lazy. So it's kind of fun because you can play around with things on that. And then like you can easily copy it, like super simple. Yeah, it's great for that type of thing. Okay.
Bella, how smart is it with like the hashtags?
I feel like it's pretty good. I never use hashtags just because I don't have like a business account that I'm using. I'm just using my own account. Um, but if you I'm gonna try to find it for you and I'll send it to you because I did a project on it last year in school about hashtags. There's this like website or app that you put, actually I might have done it for my internship. I don't know. One of them. There's this app that you put in what you want and it generates all these popular hashtags that will go along well for your social media post.
Perfect. And
So
it'll generate like popular ones, not just like
yeah,
ones that would fit your topic.
yes.
Okay.
I'll try to find it and send it to you because it's really nice. And I used it a lot during one of my internships. So yeah, I'll try to find it and send it to you. I'm gonna make a note.
Is that still the thing that like Instagram is following and pushing so much, or am I already too old to comprehend what a hashtag is?
No, I think hashtags are really good. And I think that they help your posts like land on the Explorer page a
Right,
lot
right,
better.
right.
Because I know like sometimes when I'm just like bored with my Instagram feed, I'll just scroll through my Explorer page. So if that's like the type of like the algorithm, if someone is looking for like a new house and they're like showing that to their Instagram, then that stuff's gonna start popping up on their Explorer page because of the algorithm. So I would keep using those hashtags.
Okay,
I don't think they're done for yet.
okay.
Do you have anything to say for it?
I mean, honestly, as long as they're not super long, I think that that's sometimes people think that they should be like the short ones they have on there were really good because most people aren't typing in an entire. They're
Yeah,
most people aren't
yeah.
typing more than 1 to 2 words to find a hashtag, so that's something to keep in mind. Just because at least if you want to hit more people, I would say shorter hashtags are probably better. But I mean, AI is even probably the app you said, I think the app that you're talking about probably creates great ones. I also don't use hashtags, but I'm a private non-business account, so that's why.
Yeah, I think they're good. Whoopsies. Well, it's fine. We don't even need that anyways. And that was the end of our lesson today. If there was more people in the class room, we would have probably had more questions and stuff being asked. But overall, I really think that using ChatGPT is a great tool. It's going to be able to help you like on so many levels when it comes to like just making things sound better. But like I said, just keep in mind that it can sometimes come out like kind of robotic and not humanly. So just keep that in mind. But it's a great tool in trying to think of Instagram captions, trying to enhance your listing descriptions, just sending like drip campaign emails, things like in that realm. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I will send you those 2 websites, Sarah. And if you have any more questions, just feel free to reach out to me. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Bella.
Yeah, for sure.